Have a good day, man. Hey, man, you should have had you there.
Alrighty. So, just go ahead and just go to the question. So, what form of discrimination does this clip show?
Shows a form of isolation, where it's isolated incident where in the scene you see where they were a small group of, you want to say racist, a small group of people took upon themselves and did a racist act where they isolated him, put him in a bathroom and beat him up because of his skin color, of course. They hated him because he was black, and while the others were out in the restaurant didn't know what was going on. So it was isolation.
Thanks, Alton. In isolate discrimination, what's key is that these particular members of the dominant group don't have significant support from other members of the same dominant group, and they didn't. So other whites probably wouldn't have been as supportive of these gentlemen that beat up this black man in the bathroom, which makes it isolated. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the second clip with the same question.
Checked out. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on the bus. We're gonna go to Seattle tonight, all right? Get your stuff, pack up, let's get on the bus.
Okay, so. We have the same question. What form of discrimination was shown in this code?
I believe it was small group discrimination because they chose to destroy the room and write racist comments on the walls while they were away. And then they would come back and see all this, and they would see the blood on the wall, and they would see their belongings pretty much destroyed without them being there to defend it.
Thanks, Terrence. So the same significant factor of small group discrimination is the same as it is for isolate. It doesn't have or require the significant support from members of the dominant group that may have power. So this small group decided to write this stuff on the wall in their own, like with their own intent and on purpose, but not particularly because they had significant support from people of power in their group, in their ethnic group. So we have one more clip with one more question. So here it is.
People get paid for that
It's on purpose. So what we want to focus on in this clip are the words that come up on the screen that describe the futures of all of the players and the coaches that were involved. So my question, the first part of the question, is stereotypically, what would have been the future of the Negro players?
Stereotypically, you would think this is a black athlete, that that's what you'll be doing for the rest of your life. And you probably be in the ghettos, be in the slums, and the best you probably do is play at the YMCA for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? But they went and exceeded well and beyond, went above the top, and not only did they play at a high level, they played in an institution that placed education as a primary focus. So stereotypically, most black men are looked down as ignorant, aggressive, and loud. These men here were taught discipline. They taught how to be balanced, both on the court and off the court, and how to live their lives to be a decent human.
Stereotypically, what would have been the futures for the white players?
As a white athlete, well, as a white man, I can't necessarily say that I've never been born as one. But I know as a minority, as soon as you're born, you're already labeled, and you're taught that, hey, you're already looked down upon. So I'm guessing as the opposite, you're taught that you're already superior. So stereotypically, if you already feel that you're superior, you feel that you don't have to work as hard as everybody else does. So that way you're already successful. Now, that way, which makes, in a way, makes them feel that, hey, I don't have to do anything at all.
And what component or components could be added to either ethnic group to change what would stereotypically happen?
Well, as far as stereotypes, Dr. Solis talked a lot about how all isms still exist. But stereotypes have no ism in there. So that is something that we can get rid of through knowledge. Knowledge is power. They look down at black people and say, you know, well, they're just a powerful, they have potential to be powerful. Yes, yes, because if you look at history, not all slaves were brought over, only the strongest ones were brought over. Only the strongest ones were allowed to breed. So through that, yeah, over time, we become a strong race. But if we gain knowledge, then we can gain even more power. But if we gain knowledge from everybody else around us, then stereotypes will go away, slowly but surely.
All righty. Well, Dr. Sawyers, that is it for this group. So, I guess just a brief recap is the movie is Glory Road. And what we learned is that Coach Haskins had to assimilate to Southern Division I basketball. He was supposed to have all white men play on his team and decided to go against the grain and did not. We also learned there are varying forms of discrimination, particularly the ones covered today, were isolate discrimination and small group discrimination. And we've also learned that stereotypically, black and white males had futures that were supposedly already set, but because of how they were, because of the experience of this basketball team, essentially, that stereotype was done away with, and they were a different statistic. So, thanks for watching and for listening to us today. Hope you have a good one.